Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Duplin County where a woman who is wanted on an attempted murder charge in South Carolina was arrested. Beulaville police say the SBI responded to a residence on Evans Street in Beulaville following information about a wanted fugitive believed to be staying at the location. Fugitive Leakia Petaway was wanted on active bench warrants for not only attempted murder, but also assault and battery and child abuse. Upon confirmation that Petaway was inside the residence, law enforcement officers made contact and took her into custody without incident. And now we want to turn to the ongoing war in Ukraine as Russia continues to resist peace negotiations that don't include parts of land transfer. Now, NBC's Keir Simmons has more.
Hey there, President Putin speaking for 4.5 hours here in Moscow in front of a map of Russia you can see behind me there that includes some of the territory of Ukraine. That in and of itself sent a message. President Putin's messaging has been pretty uncompromising in recent weeks, saying that he will either achieve his war aims through negotiation or on the battlefield. I wanted to ask him about that. I was able to ask him a question. Mr. President, I want to ask you about relations with President Trump and the United States.
President Trump is taking efforts to finish this conflict, military conflict, and as I mentioned before, he's doing it absolutely sincerely, I believe. And in Anchorage, we've agreed with Trump, and in practical terms, we have agreed to the proposed terms by President Trump. So the ball is totally on the side of our Western opponents, of the head of the Kiev regime and its European sponsors.
This question and answer session also involved questions from ordinary Russians, selected of course by the Kremlin, but some of them had real economic concerns, including a widow whose husband had died in Ukraine, saying that she hadn't been given the money that she was due to support her family in time. There was also a question about these tough words between Europe and Russia. President Putin notably saying that he would not launch another special military operation as long as Russia is respected. Once again, leaving vague whether or not Europe is under threat. Keir Simmons, NBC News, Moscow.
Well, thank you very much, Keir, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast. We are watching air temperatures gradually fall through this afternoon. An unusual sight. Usually we see our warmest temperatures of the day come between around 3 to 4 p.m. Not the case today. New Bern was previously sitting at 70 degrees, now down to 69. I know that's only a degree difference, but the fact that we are actually cooling from noon till 1 p.m. Is important to note. Again, winds turning a little bit more westerly, still have a southerly component in New Bern along the Neuse River. Right now, dew points down in the mid to upper 30s along the Neuse River in central Craven County. But again, air temperatures are going to be falling quite a bit further as that front pulls away from the coast. It will be reinforced by an area of high pressure that will keep skies clear not only for tonight, but through most of Saturday and Sunday as well. Plan on, again, a fairly cloud-free weekend, with clouds showing up late Sunday evening as a dry front rolls in. Right now we've got 66 degrees in Greenville, westerly breeze at 14 miles an hour. Greenville was another one of those areas that have already hit 70 degrees today, but have actively started to cool. Now Oriental, Swan Quarter, and Stumpy Point continue to warm. It's areas that are seeing the wind shift That's where we again are looking at those cooling air temperatures. Washington over the past hour has cooled 2 degrees. We've seen looks like a 4-degree drop in Kinston, just a single-degree drop in New Bern. Jacksonville has also seen a single-degree drop. But those winds again will continue to move in out of the west-northwest, and the more out of the northwest those winds get, the colder the air will become. And overnight tonight, that's exactly what's going to happen. Overnight lows will be dropping down into the low 30s. Going to be one of those mornings where we'll wake up around freezing. Winds out of the northeast present as we wake up early Saturday morning. Yeah, wind speeds aren't going to be much, but the consistency and the fact that those winds are going to be swinging around out of the entire north from really the west-northwest to the northeast, that's going to bring in a lot of cold air overnight tonight, and again will lead to a pretty noticeable temperature drop. We're going to be seeing air temps about 15 degrees cooler tomorrow than what we've seen today. Now, coming in over the tail end of Saturday, you'll note those winds starting to swing around to the south again. That will help warm us up for Sunday. So if you're a fan of the 60-degree weather in December, good news is the winds coming up Saturday evening to Saturday night will help make that a possibility, if not a full-on reality. Now, here's a look at kind of a big picture of what is happening across the southeastern United States. You see that area of high pressure roll in. That keeps the clouds away, keeps everything nice and dry. We do, again, there have a little bit of some moisture kind of bubbling up out of the Gulf around Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. That likely will not be able to make it into eastern North Carolina due to the fact that cold front we're seeing up to our north, that kind of band of clouds, and have part of it highlighted there with that cold frontal system, that is going to push southward across the east, bringing us colder air coming up from Sunday night into Monday. It will reduce any chance of rain out of those drops you're seeing coming in out of the Gulf, but it will also drop air temperatures right on back down again. Upper 40s to mid 40s planned for Monday afternoon, 47 degrees. Lots of sunshine, yes, but Monday will also be a breezy day, so you're going to want to have a jacket coming up for Monday. Overnight lows 29 degrees Monday night into Tuesday morning. Tuesday, slim chance of rain, but it's looking like our best chance of rain for the next 8 days. 56 degrees on Tuesday, warms to 62 degrees on Christmas Eve, 66 by Christmas Day, 70 the day after Christmas. And again, if we're not going to have a white Christmas, please give me a sunny and warm Christmas. It looks like that is exactly what we've got on deck coming up for next week. That's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Friday.